So LifeProof has updated Slam since the last time I reviewed it. This is the old one. It was terrible. This is the new one. It's not as terrible. But I'm not sure when I would actually go out and recommend this case. Maybe to somebody I don't like. At MobileReviewsEh, Monty and I base all our reviews on actual usage. Now, we've been doing this for so long that we actually are able to keep track of how a company changes their products. Most case manufacturers will try to make their cases slimmer, but LifeProof decided to make their next newest iteration of the Slam bigger. Another example of this is that LifeProof's parent company, OtterBox, managed to slim down the Symmetry a good bit for last year. But as I just said, LifeProof decided to go with a bulk phase and just, yeah. But with that being said, at least this case works with your iPhone, which is something I can't say for the Slam, because this button, after all these years, is almost impossible to push. Nothing like a case that makes it really hard to push the button. So stupid. Now, the newest LifeProof Slam is now a single piece case instead of two pieces that snap together. The case will add a bit of thickness and width to your iPhone. It actually takes away from the curve of your iPhone now. It's a big block. I do have to kind of poke fun of LifeProof's marketing fluff. The marketing fluff for the newer Slam isn't as bad as the old Slam. This thing, they were marketing like Urban Air, School of Hard Knocks and everything. Just so terrible. But this one, they say it's thin. Ultra thin. It's not. Now, the Slam fits way better than the next, and the rubbery edges improves the handling of the device actually quite a bit, but the handling would be so much better if the back edge had a bit of texture to it. You know, it's just very, very smooth polycarbonate right now. The case doesn't slide around easily on the front, but could be used as a pseudo bowling ball for beer cans if you're bored during your coronavirus isolation. The back of the case is recessed a bit, so using it as a pseudo bowling ball won't scratch it up completely, but it will show wear and tear over time. This back is just pure polycarbonate, and it doesn't have that rubberized coating that I really like on the mouse clarity that helps with scratching. Now, when it comes to using your iPhone in the case, I generally didn't have any issues with the Slam. The buttons are removable, which is really reminiscent of the redesigned Symmetries. In fact, the buttons on the Slam, removable buttons on the Slam, are exactly the same as a Symmetry. So if you have a Symmetry and you're thinking about getting the Slam, you could swap the buttons and like spice up your case. The edges of the case, despite being larger, aren't that noticeable as they kind of taper nicely into the screen. I didn't have any issues with the camera axis or the port, and when it comes to protection, the Slam is supposed to protect your iPhone from a 2-meter drop or 6.6 feet. The case edges are quite rigid, so dust and debris aren't going to get in too easily, and the edge of the case is high enough when you put it on a flat surface to keep your iPhone screen off a flat surface, even with a thick screen protector, like a normal 0.33mm screen protector. When it comes to using your camera, there isn't like a black ring around it like Apple kind of suggests, but it's got a heavily tapered edge that has a matte covering on it, so it will prevent flashes from bouncing back in the lens a little bit, but not as well as some of the other, you know, like a Casetify case has that big black ring around it. It's not because they like the big black ring, it's because they need to have that to stop the flash from bouncing back into the photos, so your photos look a lot better. The difference between a black ring flash case and this one will be minuscule, but that's kind of why it's there. Now, given the bulk of this case, I would actually be inclined to believe LifeProof in saying that it could protect it from 2.2 feet or 2.2 meters, or 2 meters, 6.6 feet, which is something I can't say for the last case I reviewed, the Rinky Fusion. It's military drop standard, and it's just this really, really thin piece of TPU. Less so believable, this quite more believable. But to prove to you how believable it is, here's a bunch of drops that Val did.
The screen cracked.
So I'm trying to wrap my head around what just happened, because there's this crack right across the front, not on the screen protector. And that doesn't make any sense to me, because when Val dropped it, the phone landed on its back. And so that meant that the impact traveled through the case, through the phone, and then hit the screen protector. Now the screen protector that's on this iPhone 11 Pro is pretty beat up, so it wouldn't have taken much for the screen protector to crack, but I would have expected it from a face-first drop, not from a bottom-up drop. Maybe the Rinky case would have been better, I don't know, but this is an outlier for me. I can't figure it out. So don't drop, just don't get this case. So that's all I got for this video. If you found it useful, consider getting all your stuff through my Amazon links. Probably not this case. If you really want it, do get it, but there are some other ones. Do check out my top 10 list for iPhone cases if you want to know some good alternatives. Producing content once a day for the coronavirus because everyone's sitting at home in isolation. And because I've declared myself as an essential business for you guys, I'm going to be working every single day. I kid, but there's nobody else in this house right now, so I literally have 2 houses that I can go in and out of, so no one's going to get coronavirus because of me. It's okay, guys. Don't. It's okay. All right, Monty, we crushed this. This is like only took us like 12 minutes to record this. Cruising. So in this section, Val, you have to drop the phone in the case.